In the dazzling world of cinema, Vivien Leigh stood out as a brilliant star, but her life hid a profound tragedy. Despite possessing mesmerizing beauty and extraordinary acting talent through classic roles like Scarlett O'Hara, she silently battled mental illnesses. What was this terrifying struggle? Let's unveil the truth right now. Childhood and ambition. Vivien Leigh, whom the world would later come to know and admire, was born Vivien Mary Hartley on November 5, 1913, in Darjeeling, British India. From a young age, Vivien displayed a sensitive soul, a rich imagination, and a delicate, distinctive beauty. Her father, Ernest Richard Hartley, was an officer in the British Indian Army, and her mother, Gertrude Mary Frances Yakji, was a woman with a deep passion for literature and theater. It was from her mother that Vivien inherited her love for art, and the first seeds of her acting ambition were sown. Vivien's childhood unfolded against the colorful backdrop of India, but was soon shaped by a strict and traditional British education. At the age of 6, the young girl was sent to England to study at the Convent of the Sacred Heart in Roehampton. Here, Vivien not only acquired knowledge, but also gained exposure to the world of theater through school plays. From her very first amateur performances, Vivien revealed a natural talent and a peculiar charisma on stage. She once confided to a friend that she would become a great actress. That youthful declaration, seemingly a childish fantasy, was in fact the guiding principle that would direct her entire life. After completing her studies at the convent, Vivien continued to pursue her passion at the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, in London. This was where she honed her skills, learned foundational knowledge about acting, and began to develop her own style. However, life took an unexpected turn when she met and married Herbert Lee Holman, a lawyer 13 years her senior in 1932. This marriage brought her a daughter, Suzanne, and it was also when she decided to adopt the stage name Vivien Leigh, combining her first name with her husband's middle name. This name not only marked a new beginning in her personal life, but also was her first step on the path to becoming a cinematic legend. The first glimmer of a star. With her new stage name and an iron will, Vivien Leigh began her journey to conquer the stage and screen. Her initial small roles, though not yet widely acclaimed, helped her gain experience and gradually establish her capabilities. Vivien's exquisite beauty, expressive eyes, and powerful acting quickly drew the attention of critics and audiences. She wasn't just a beautiful face, but a true artist, always exploring and dedicating herself wholeheartedly to each role. The biggest turning point in Vivien Leigh's life and career came in 1935 when she met Laurence Olivier, one of Britain's greatest actors at the time. This fateful encounter ignited a passionate romance, a complex and intense relationship that captivated the world. Both were already married, but the powerful attraction between them was undeniable. Their clandestine affair became a hot topic in newspapers, but it was also this fierce bond that created a golden couple of stage and screen conquering artistic heights together. However, the most dazzling peak in the dawn of Vivien Leigh's fame was her casting as Scarlett O'Hara in the classic film Gone with the Wind. This was a role coveted by hundreds of actresses, a long and dramatic search. When Vivien appeared with her sharp beauty, fiery eyes, and haughty demeanor, director Victor Fleming exclaimed, "That's Scarlett!" This role not only propelled Vivien Leigh to international superstardom, but also became an icon forever linked to her name. The success of Gone with the Wind was overwhelming, and Vivien Leigh, with her outstanding portrayal of Scarlett, became a global phenomenon, opening a brilliant but also challenging new chapter in her life. The peak of Vivien Leigh's career. After the resounding success of Gone with the Wind, Vivien Leigh naturally became one of the most sought-after actresses in the world. The role of Scarlett O'Hara not only earned her her first Academy Award for Best Actress, but also etched her name into the legendary pantheon of cinema. The world saw in her not just breathtaking beauty, but also extraordinary talent capable of portraying the complex psychological depth of a character. Her fiery eyes, captivating stubbornness, and explosive acting prowess transformed Scarlett into a timeless icon, a vibrant, strong female archetype amidst the chaotic backdrop of the American South. However, Vivien did not rest on the laurels of Gone with the Wind. She continuously challenged herself with diverse roles, constantly proving her versatility on both the stage and the big screen. Her career in the 1940s and early 1950s was a string of consecutive successes. In particular, her portrayal of Blanche Dubois in Tennessee Williams's play A Streetcar Named Desire elevated her talent to new heights. Vivien brilliantly embodied the fragile, delusional Southern woman who gradually succumbed to mental collapse, a complex and challenging role. Her stage performance stunned critics, and when the film adaptation was released in 1951, she once again won her second Academy Award for Best Actress. This role not only solidified her position as an outstanding dramatic actress, but also demonstrated her ability to delve into the darkest psychological aspects of humanity. Alongside her soaring career, the relationship between Vivien and Laurence Olivier also reached its romantic and professional zenith. They were considered the golden couple of the entertainment industry, the embodiment of love and talent. Both frequently appeared together on stage, creating breathtaking performances in classic Shakespearean plays like Hamlet and Lady Macbeth. The synergy of their talents, both on stage and in life, created an irresistible allure, a perfect image in the public eye. They were not only husband and wife, but also harmonious artistic collaborators, together building a magnificent performing empire. The hidden darkness in Vivien Leigh's private life. Amidst the dazzling peak of fame and love, an invisible darkness began to creep into Vivien Leigh's life. The 1940s saw the increasingly clear emergence of symptoms that would later be diagnosed as bipolar disorder, also known as manic depression. This complex psychological illness caused her to experience fluctuating periods of extreme highs mania and deep despair depression. Initially, these manifestations were often misunderstood or attributed to the eccentricity or difficult nature of a genius artist. During manic phases, Vivien could become overflowing with energy, relentlessly creative, tirelessly working and making impulsive decisions. She might abruptly change plans, come up with bold ideas, or behave erratically. Conversely, when she fell into a depressive phase, she would become melancholic, despondent, losing all motivation and interest in everything around her. Depressive episodes often came with feelings of hopelessness, extreme fatigue, and even suicidal thoughts. These intense emotional fluctuations began to severely impact her personal life and career. On film sets, Vivien's erratic mood swings caused considerable difficulties for directors and film crews. Some days she was full of energy and gave brilliant performances, but on other days she was almost unable to focus, becoming irritable or completely collapsing, hindering work progress. Colleagues and friends around her, though they admired and respected her talent, struggled to understand and cope with these unpredictable changes. At that time, knowledge of mental illness was limited, and those suffering from it often faced stigma or misunderstanding from society. The pressure of fame and intense public scrutiny further exacerbated Vivien's condition. Her every word and gesture were scrutinized and judged. The image of a perfect, flawless Vivien Leigh that the public expected created an immense psychological burden, preventing her from openly expressing her inner struggles. She constantly had to wear a mask of strength and pride, concealing her inner pain and fears. Furthermore, Vivien also faced heartbreaking personal losses. She experienced several miscarriages, each one a severe blow to her fragile mental state. The loss of her unborn children plunged Vivien into deep despair, adding to the burden on her already unstable psyche. These personal tragedies, combined with the silently devastating illness, laid the groundwork for greater tragedies that would unfold in the later years of Vivien Leigh's life. transforming the glorious story of a star into a sorrowful, poignant, and lingering ballad. Illness and relationship. Strain destroyed. Vivien. As Vivien Leigh entered the 1950s, her bipolar disorder became more severe than ever, gradually consuming the radiance that once made her an icon. Manic episodes grew increasingly intense, making her impulsive, aggressive, and leading to baffling decisions that sometimes hurt those around her. Conversely, depressive episodes became longer and deeper, plunging her into an abyss of despair and apathy towards everything. She frequently experienced periods of extreme dejection, refusing to leave bed, losing all energy and joy in life. This illness had severe consequences for her career. Filming or performing on stage became a constant struggle. At times, Vivien was completely unable to focus, forgot her lines, or suddenly experienced mood swings mid-scene, causing great difficulty for the film crew and co-stars. Her inherent professionalism gradually gave way to unpredictable behaviors, sometimes leading to her dismissal from important projects. For instance, during the filming of Elephant Walk 1954, Vivien's health deteriorated so badly that she had to withdraw from the project, and her role was subsequently given to Elizabeth Taylor. This not only disappointed her, but also made the film industry doubt the working capabilities of a once illustrious star. Alongside her battle with bipolar disorder, Vivien also faced another silent enemy: tuberculosis. This disease, which had tormented her since the 1940s, now recurred more frequently and became more severe. Her physical health clearly weakened. Her body became thin and pale, a far cry from the vibrant image of Scarlett O'Hara she once was. The combination of mental and physical illness created a vicious cycle. Each condition exacerbated the other, eroding both Vivien's body and spirit. Prolonged coughing, fits, high fevers, and chronic fatigue hindered her artistic pursuits, forcing her to cancel many performances and disrupt filming schedules. The love affair between Vivien Leigh and Laurence Olivier was once celebrated as one of Hollywood's most romantic and great love stories. They embodied the perfect blend of talent and passion. However, Vivien's severe illness became too great a challenge, gradually eroding the strong bond between them. Laurence Olivier, who once loved and admired his wife wholeheartedly, now faced a harsh reality. He tried his utmost to support Vivien, taking her to various treatments, seeking every possible method to help her. But bipolar disorder was too complex and difficult to control, especially at that time when treatments were still rudimentary. Laurence had to witness the woman he deeply loved transform erratically from a sweet, talented wife into a stranger, sometimes aggressive or completely despondent. Growing arguments and resentments, along with Vivien's impulsive behaviors, physically and emotionally exhausted Olivier. Both their busy careers and schedules also increased the pressure. They were frequently separated, making support and care more difficult. Rumors of Olivier's extramarital affairs, whether true or not, further wounded Vivien's already unstable psyche. She felt abandoned, betrayed, and this pushed her deeper into the spiral of her illness. After nearly 2 decades together, the iconic marriage of Vivien Leigh and Laurence Olivier finally came to an end in 1960. The decision to divorce was a painful release for both, but particularly a heavy blow to Vivien. She had lost the man she deeply loved, her life partner, and her most compatible acting partner. The breakdown of this marriage was not only a personal loss, but also the collapse of a symbol of love in the public eye. For Vivien, it was a wound that was slow to heal, a poignant testament to the fact that love, no matter how strong, might not overcome the tragedy of illness and fate. This separation plunged Vivien into an even deeper depression, leaving indelible scars on her final years. Vivien Leigh's final years. After the painful separation from Laurence Olivier, Vivien Leigh's life gradually sank into periods of solitary struggle with illness. Her bipolar disorder episodes did not subside. In fact, they became even harder to control as she faced loneliness and the breakdown of the most important relationship in her life. At that time, medical science had not yet made much progress in treating mental illnesses. Methods like electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, though highly controversial and with significant side effects, were often used in severe cases of bipolar disorder. Vivien also had to undergo these therapies, bringing both temporary relief and unwanted trauma and side effects. Alongside her mental illness, pulmonary tuberculosis was also a constant burden. Frequent relapses drained her strength. Vivien's body was thin and pale, and persistent coughing fits were a constant reminder of the enemy ravaging her health from within. The combination of these two severe illnesses transformed Vivien's final years into an arduous journey where she had to brace herself against both physical pain and spiritual torment. Despite her severely declining health, the flame of artistic passion within Vivien Leigh never completely extinguished. She still attempted to participate in some film and theatrical projects, but the frequency and quality of her work were significantly affected. Each appearance was an extraordinary effort, a rare moment where she could rise above her illness to once again fully embrace her passion. However, those shining moments became increasingly sparse, and for most of the time she lived in seclusion, far from the spotlights that had once been her breath. On July 8, 1967, Vivien Leigh passed away at her home in London at the age of 53 due to complications from tuberculosis. Her passing occurred in privacy, in stark contrast to the tumultuous life and dazzling spotlight she had once experienced. It was a sad end to a brilliant yet tragic life, a star who had burned brightly and then faded in silence. Vivien Leigh's passing left a great void in the public and the film industry. She is remembered not only for her unparalleled talent and beauty, but also for her deeply sorrowful life story. In later years, as society's awareness of mental illness gradually increased, Vivien Leigh's story was re-examined with deeper empathy and understanding. People began to comprehend that her erratic behaviors and mood swings were not the difficulties of a diva, but rather symptoms of a serious illness she had fought alone. The legacy Vivien Leigh left for cinema is invaluable. Her roles, especially Scarlett O'Hara and Blanche Dubois, remain unshakable icons, inspiring many generations of actors. She shaped these characters vividly, complexly, and hauntingly, transcending the limits of the script to create timeless figures. Today, when Vivien Leigh is mentioned, people remember not only her flawless beauty or outstanding acting talent, but also a resilient woman who battled illness until her last breath. Her story is a poignant reminder of the fragility of the human psyche, of the price sometimes paid for greatness, and of the importance of understanding and empathizing with the silent battles each individual faces. Vivien Leigh's life tragedy is a bitter whisper from the past that even the most brilliant stars can be enveloped by darkness. What do you think about Vivien Leigh's tragic life? Which of her roles left the deepest impression on you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to follow our channel to discover more fascinating stories about other cinematic legends.